Pravat mentioned, I am CEO of First Star. We work with young people who have experienced the foster care system. We support their trajectory through high school and graduate them from high school. We send them on to college and workforce development, and we support them as alum as well. What we found with commercially sexually exploited children, they're known as CSEC, young people, 60 to 70% come from the child welfare system. When you think about the work that we do, the monsters aren't just like Epstein. They aren't just clouded by their wealth and their power, but the monsters are also walking around schools and targeting young ladies. When kids enter the foster care system, most of us think that they join the they enter the foster care system and they experience some semblance of stability. They're put into the system, their families figure things out, they return back to their families, or they remain in the system, but that they're able to graduate and then they move on with their lives. It's actually quite different. When young people enter into the system, they enter into the system usually because of neglect, not abuse. Neglect is driven by poverty. It's driven by housing instability, parents lacking resources, food scarcity, clothing scarcity, and at that point, the system comes in and takes that child. Well, the experience that they have is not much better than what they had when they were at their homes. It gets harder. The one consistent in their life is instability. They move from home to home and school to school. When you talk about teenagers in care, they have already gone to about 8 different homes, placements, and those placements range from homes to group homes to STRTPs, which are facilities that they place young people in. Now imagine this being your experience, and imagine being 13 or 14 years old. Predators that are lurking are targeting these young ladies. And the way that it starts is maybe a lot like how it started with you, Rebecca. They see that there's a need. Young people in care, teenagers are just like any other person. They need some money to go to the movies. They want to hang out with their friends. Well, the child welfare system does not offer much money, cash money to students. And so they target that. Oh, I got you. I'll give you $20. I'll give you $30. That becomes an emotional relationship and bond. A lot of times that becomes a boyfriend. That boyfriend starts to use coercive methods to get that young person to start to interact and engage in sexual exploitation. This happens to a significant majority of young people that have experienced care. She actually didn't finish 6th grade at my school. She left, but we had maintained contact. I get closer to the car and I see she's dressed in a bra and shorts. I try to talk to her. She doesn't really want to talk. Within a minute, her predator comes out of the fast food restaurant. He looks at me, gives me the death stare. I step away. He goes into the car. I hear him yelling at her. We drive away. I found out that my friend was being trafficked. Her story doesn't end there. She ended up getting pregnant, having a child by this predator, and her life goals were shattered. At that time, there wasn't anything I could do to help her. I didn't know what to do. But it's a privilege now to be the CEO of First Star, where we're able to work with young people in care and shift and pivot their stories from fragility to strength. We work with amazing universities across the country. We co-create First Star programs, and in these programs, we provide stability. Our students join our programs right through the child welfare system. They have an open case in child welfare, and for 4 years, we not only support through academics, but we support holistically. We talk about healthy relationships. We talk about what it means to be manipulated. We talk about what it means to survive relationships that have been so destructive to so many of our young people. This is the work that First Star does, and I'm so proud of what we have accomplished. I shared the numbers in terms of graduation. We have now served thousands of youth across the country, and we have adjusted the paths of so many of them towards college, towards career, and towards fulfilling lives.